Welcome back to CS 107. This is week 14. This week's focus will be an introduction to databases and using them in Thinkable. So this video, we're going to cover the creative quiz that you'll be given some feedback on. A little note on the intro to databases, but that'll be covered in a different video. Some insight into the note taker app and a brief overview of the homework, which will be code.org CSP lesson 6. Corny joke of the week: what do you call a fish without eyes? Fish. Alrighty. So first activity for this week, we'll be giving feedback on the creative quizzes that you guys created last week. Check out the apps. Please give feedback on at least 3 of the apps. Pluses. What did you like about the app? And some wishes. What could the developer, aka your peers, think about for the future? Things that they could have added or done a little differently. In particular, if you're gonna get into the wishes, try to make your feedback specific and actionable, and that would actually make it really useful. For example, if there's a specific element, whether it's a design element or a coding element, if you could identify it and give an action step of what someone could actually do, rather than just saying it's good or it's bad or I didn't like this for whatever reason. If you could be action specific about how they could change it to improve it, that would be really useful. Also note that there's a couple, not many, but when we did the creative games week, most people did Pong, a couple people did creative games, and I added those because they're cool and worth checking out. This week's big focus is data and databases. Up to this point, we've only been using or creating apps with what you would call fixed data or static data. That's data that's more or less hardwired right into the app and doesn't change. But this week we'll be focusing. There's a section and an activity where the video, similar to the intro list, you'll watch the video and do some questions, but the focus is how to incorporate databases, because then that allows us to use user-generated data, persistent data, which exists, which even if you close the app, the data will still be there. It's neat stuff, and it will take your apps to the next level. So the app that you will build this week, which will apply those concepts, is the note taker app. You'll be able to save notes in a database, and this data will persist and you can retrieve it when you reopen the app. Wanted to show you what that looks like for a second. So you'll have pretty basic, and I actually gave you the user interface, but you're going to build an app where you're going to be able to enter some notes. So say this is your shopping list, and you want bread, and you want make sure you got milk, and how about some eggs? And you get those things into your shopping list, and it'll render. You're going to use a new component called the list viewer, so it will show the list that you create. And if you closed it for some reason, when you reopened it, the information will be there, and you can also clear your list. Okay, so that's what the note taker app looks like. And for homework this week, you'll do code.org CSP lesson 6. There's only 2 puzzles, and it's applying. It's another opportunity to apply the concept of functions that you've been working on for a couple weeks. So looks kind of like this. In lesson 6, it's really only 2 activities. One is you'll define several functions that will allow you to build or allow you to draw this image, which looks like a series of crosses. So a couple functions you might use will definitely, how about a left turn, because that's not built. Oh, is that already in there? How about a right turn? And that might be, actually, sometimes it is easier just in this program to look at it in the blocks, but definitely a good challenge to do it in actually typing it out. You might need a right turn, you need a turnaround, and I guess that's just 2 left turns. And you'll need the actual function that you'll need to call, which will be the cross itself. So I'm not going to define it for you, but you should go through that process. And remember, you can toggle between the blocks and the text. And then the only other puzzle you're going to do this week is sort of calling back to from lesson 4, where you guys had to build the 3x3 square, and you weren't using functions yet, and probably took you a long time and 40, 50 lines of code. This time you're going to be challenged to draw the 3x3 square as efficiently as possible, so by using the functions that you create, ultimately just calling functions. So that's the homework for this week. yeah, so that's what's going on. Make sure you give feedback to your peers on their creative quiz apps. You'll do an intro to database activity and take a quiz on it. You can take the quiz as many times as you want, but you do need to watch that. I think it's very much worth your time to watch the database activity video. You'll build a note taker app. You'll do a little homework on code.org. Have a fantastic week. Good luck.